The sun rose differently over South Africa on February 11, 1990. The world stood still, holding its collective breath as history prepared to unfold. A man who had become a symbol of resistance and hope was about to walk free after 27 years behind bars. The story begins in a divided South Africa, where the discovery of diamonds and gold had brought wealth that flowed almost exclusively into white hands. In 1948, the National Party institutionalized racial segregation through apartheid, creating one of the world's most oppressive systems. Into this world of injustice was born Nelson Mandela in the rural village of Mvezo in 1918. From humble beginnings, he would rise to become a lawyer and join the African National Congress in 1944, fighting against a system where 90% of the land was reserved for the white minority, and black South Africans could neither vote nor own property in 87% of the country. Initially advocating for peaceful resistance, Mandela and the ANC organized strikes and boycotts. But everything changed on March 21, 1960, when police opened fire on peaceful protesters in Sharpeville, killing 69 people. The government banned the ANC, forcing the movement underground. In 1963, Mandela faced the death penalty at the Rivonia trial. Standing in the dock, he declared, "I have fought against white domination, and I have fought against black domination. I have cherished the ideal of a democratic and free society. It is an ideal for which I am prepared to die." Instead of execution, he received life imprisonment. For 18 years, Robben Island became his home. In a cell measuring just 8 by 7 feet, prisoner 466/64 maintained his dignity, organizing study groups and teaching fellow prisoners, while hard labor in the limestone quarry permanently damaged his eyes. Outside those prison walls, the world mobilized. By the mid-1980s, over 150 companies had withdrawn from South Africa. Foreign investment dropped by 30%, and international boycotts mounted. The pressure became overwhelming, and in 1990, President F.W. de Klerk announced Mandela's imminent release. On February 11, 1990, as over 100,000 people gathered outside Victor Verster Prison and 1 billion viewers watched worldwide, Nelson Mandela emerged at 4:14 p.m. Hand in hand with Winnie Mandela, he took his first steps of freedom, transforming from prisoner to peacemaker. The path ahead was challenging. South Africa stood on the brink of civil war, but Mandela led negotiations for a peaceful transition to democracy. In April 1994, in the country's first democratic elections open to all races, 19.7 million people cast their ballots, with some waiting over 12 hours to vote. The ANC won 62.6% of the vote, and Mandela became South Africa's first black president. His greatest achievement was choosing reconciliation over retribution. The Truth and Reconciliation Commission became a global model for healing historical wounds, hearing over 21,000 victims' testimonies, and processing thousands of amnesty applications. Under democracy, South Africa transformed. Access to electricity for black households increased from 500,000 to over 3.3 million. Primary school enrollment rose from 60% to 98%. Life expectancy increased by a decade. Today, Mandela's legacy inspires new generations fighting for justice worldwide. His journey from prisoner to president, from freedom fighter to reconciler, proves that change is possible, no matter how long the night of oppression may seem. As the sun sets over the same land where Mandela dreamed of freedom, his words still echo. For to be free is not merely to cast off one's chains, but to live in a way that respects and enhances the freedom of others. Subscribe to DeQuant.Studio for more stories that changed our world. Share this video to spread Mandela's message of hope and reconciliation.